What is not known to the general public and some musicians is that some movies will be scored by multiple composers. Due to many factors, the film might be short on time and need a score fast, and that's where the score is divided up among several composers who work together. The reason this is not known is because the music credits are typically listed for just one composer, with some exceptions. It is a good idea to let multiple composers work on a film, and is it effective? Well, let's take a look at Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl and find out. The Curse of the Black Pearl is the perfect movie to look into for this idea. The soundtrack was very well received by audiences and some musicians. I also know, unconfirmed though, the composers for each cue, making for a better breakdown, and the history of how the soundtrack came together is also known. For this video, I'm going to look into the history of how we came to have 9 composers working on this film, but I will also do a full movie soundtrack analysis as later parts in this mini-series. Sylvestre was originally hired to write the music for the first Pirates movie, but before he was even able to finish writing any themes, he was let go. The exact reason is unknown, only listed as creative differences. But I would wager that they wanted Sylvestre to write something similar to Hans Zimmer's team. My reasoning for this is because they used music from the movie Drop Zone in the trailer for the movie, a Hans Zimmer score. This trailer music choice was made before letting Sylvestre go, as he's listed in the credits at the time. The music will also sound a bit familiar to you, but that's getting a bit ahead of ourselves. From here, Hans Zimmer was contacted to compose the music for the movie, but he was unable to due to a contract at the time with The Last Samurai, but he recommended members of his team at Media Ventures, now called Remote Control Productions. Here's where things get kind of weird with what is said. I found some accounts that say they only had 3 weeks to write the score, some say 2 weeks, some say 19 days. And then with the release of the soundtrack, there's the claim that they needed to name the tracks before the score was actually written, and that they used multiple studios for recording the soundtrack because they were so short on time. This would explain the weird track names, like Will and Elizabeth being the Sparrow Turner dual music. Instead of something like music from this scene. If you are curious, here's where each track from the soundtrack is in the movie. So it seems the Pirates soundtrack was really just slapped together, and the total budget for the film was the same as The Last Samurai, which was higher than other big films of the year like The Matrix Revolutions and Return of the King. So with Media Ventures set to compose the score, here's what we know took place. Hans Zimmer wrote the main themes for the film in one night and made a quick demo. This demo was concluded at 4:56 a.m. and that's what they named it. Music from this demo is similar to previous movies that Hans worked on, Drop Zone and Gladiator. This demo was then sent to Klaus and others at Media Ventures to write and orchestrate cues for the movie. With the timeline so tight, the soundtrack was recorded in several studios over 4 days, so it's not the clearest who is actually playing on the soundtrack. The released soundtrack CD was very rushed and is quite short compared to the score for the whole movie, coming in at only 43 minutes. After all of this tight work and quick recording, the soundtrack was very well received by audiences. Even on a Facebook poll by a friend recently, many stated they loved Klaus's work on the movie, which honestly cracked me up because, well, the soundtrack was based on themes by past Media Ventures movies and composed by 7 other composers as well, making it 9 total that worked on the film. In the next part, I will break down the themes from Hans's demo as well as other themes I found while watching the movie. I'll provide my own names for the themes and showing evidence as to why I named them the way that I did. I'll also show some problematic themes as well. So stay tuned for that coming very soon, and I will see you at the thematic analysis of The Curse of the Black Pearl.